huge social media presence too. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it.
My name is Chris, at MedFit Chris. Join the Fab movement. Reach out to me. Reach out to Dr. Fabi. We're here to help. This is the Fab movement.
Huge social media presence. So he took the initiative and we linked up on Instagram. So this just tells you the power of social media that we got here. So what I want to start off with, we're going to talk about what the Fab movement is. So the Fab movement, of course, Fab, F-A-B, that's my last name. Fabi is my last name. And the movement, it's an acronym, MVMNT. So what M stands for is motivated. We want to make the younger generation motivated. We also want to make them valiant. That's the V. The second M is magnificent. We want them to be magnificent because we have magnificence all inside us. We just need to tap into that and take action on that. Finally, the N means noble, okay, because we've got to be ethical in our profession. We've got to be ethical with taking care of people because that's what it's all about. And finally, tenacious. We've got to be tenacious because it's challenging. You know, healthcare is very challenging. And without tenacity, you know, you're not going to get there, you know, but that tenacity, you know, ultimately is so important because you get to achieve the dreams that you want. And, you know, no better dream than being of service to the community. So, again, we got Chris here. So what his story is that he's looking, he's a pre-med. He's going to be starting his master's program in Atlanta. And that's a gateway to, and he's going to do well. You know, you're going to get at least your 3.3 GPA. You're going to get a 4.0. That's going to gateway him into medical school. So he's going to grind. You know, he's going to sacrifice that year. And it's not a sacrifice because you're going to learn a lot. You know, you're going to learn a lot, which is very important. So briefly, you know, this is not about me. So I'm going to start off here talking a lot, of course, but I'm going to let Chris here take the reins because this is about you guys. It's about the younger generation. So who I am, I'm from Chicago originally. My parents, I'm Filipino. They came here, migrated from the Philippines in 77 and 78, respectively. That was my mom and my dad. My mom was a physician, and you know, through their model, I saw the value of hard work. You know, because my dad was a blue-collar guy, worked 3 jobs, and my mom, of course, went through the medical field. So I found that throughout, you know, I'll be honest, initially I thought I was doing medicine for my mom, but what I found, that's where my passions lie. That what spoke to me and my traits and characteristics was compassion, it was being selfless, helping others. So I got into medical school, but first before that I went to University of Michigan, my alma mater, go blue right there. So that's another thing I'm very passionate about. You might see in a lot of my posts. And then went to University of Illinois, Chicago. And I'll tell you why. I failed my first organic chemistry test, and I kind of questioned myself, like, can I do this? And so what I did, I doubled up for the next exam and just rocked it. You know, so that proved to me that, you know, yeah, I may get knocked down, but I can get back up. Went to University of Illinois, Chicago for medical school, then went into orthopedic surgery residency, University of Illinois, Chicago, finally did a fellowship in joint replacements, hip and knee replacements at Rush. Because what got me into orthopedics is when I first saw my first hip replacement, and from there I knew that's what I wanted to do, so I rode with that. So currently been in practice, about to enter my 10th year of practice here in San Diego, you know, kind of really built the vision that I wanted, but now I'm looking to expand, looking to grow, and a lot of that has to do with mentoring and finding mentees. And here is one of my magnificent mentees.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'll let you take the reins. Sorry, there's a lot of diarrhea talking.
No, it's good. I think it's good for people to understand like your story and like, you know, how you've, you know, become as successful as you are.
Yeah.
And you've been an excellent mentor for me and for a lot of other, you know, students looking to go into medicine. So, you know, shout out to you obviously for doing all that you do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it always fills me up when you come around. You know, you've shadowed me in clinic.
Yeah.
You shadowed me in the OR. You know, and you reach out to me and you're here. So honestly, I really appreciate that. You know, that really kind of builds me up. So it helps me too. So
it's a two-way street.
Yeah. Tell us. You know, we talked about before. So tell us about your story. So.
Yeah. So I mean, you and me have spoken about it before, but I kind of have that like kind of a non-traditional path towards going to medicine and having an interest in it. I wasn't initially interested in medicine when I was younger. It sort of kind of just, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So I graduated high school and I went to the University of Arizona. I was there for about 2 years. I majored in like business, journalism. I was kind of trying to figure myself out. But essentially what happened is I failed out, partied too much, had too much of a good time. And then I ended up transferring to community college here in San Diego, where I worked and just grinded for, you know, essentially 3 years of my life. Didn't really do anything social, just like focus on academics and just really made sure to hone in on my goals and what I wanted. And that's where I kind of I started taking classes in like the sciences like biology and chemistry, just like basic stuff. But that kind of like really developed and evolved my interest in medicine. So over that course of 3 years, that's where I really found my passion for wanting to become a doctor. And then eventually I was able to good grades and transfer over to UC Riverside.
Okay.
So that's where I completed my bachelor's degree in kind of also something different. I did anthropology and biology.
So you experienced a lot of challenges on the way, right?
Definitely.
A lot of no's.
A lot of no's. Actually, the first time I applied to transfer to UC school, that was rejected.
Yeah.
I didn't. They saw my previous grades and they're just like, no, you need to do a little bit more work. So it took me two times to actually transfer.
How did you handle that rejection?
It was tough. Yeah, it was tough. Honestly, it put me in a pretty dark place. Just like my mindset wasn't as positive, I guess, as it is now.
Yeah.
So, but it's one of those things where you learn to, you have these obstacles and you overcome them, and you learn that it's not the end of the world.
I like that you mentioned put me in a dark place, because that's honest, that's authentic. And I think kind of being authentic, being your authentic self, shows strength. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we get a lot of noise in our head from society and whatnot to kind of temper our authenticity. But I always put out, we're 1 in 7.2 billion, meaning we're not just a number, meaning I flip it, we're unique, right? Mm-hmm. We all have a purpose here in life, and we just got to find that purpose. So it looks like you found your purpose.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah.
It took me a really long time.
Yeah.
Lots of like trial and error, different life decisions I had to make. But ultimately, I'm going to, go to where I want to be, and it feels good. It feels like everything's falling into place now.
How excited are you for the movie?
I'm stoked. I'm really stoked. Honestly, I'm excited to, I've been in San Diego most of my life, so it's good to get out and experience something new.
Yeah. Exactly.
But San Diego's always going to be home, that's for sure.
So we talked about your parents.
Yes.
They influenced you.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of similar backstory to what you have. My mom, she immigrated to the United States, over 20 years ago from Thailand. With she had one suitcase.
Asian representative.
She had to come here with one suitcase. She worked as a waitress for many years. She met my dad. My dad, he was in the Navy, and he also no formal education at all. But they're doing pretty well now. But a lot of it is grinding. And that perseverance.
So is it just you? You got brothers, sisters?
I have an older brother and an older sister.
Okay.
Awesome. A lot of older.
So he's the youngest. You're the baby.
I'm the baby. I'm the last one. So
tell us something besides your journey. What else do you like to do? Your free time?
Oh man, I'm a huge fitness enthusiast. Yeah. I love to work out. Love to hit the gym. Honestly, that's become like my main form of therapy over these past years. Never been perfect at it, but it's one of those things. Just like with academics or anything, you slowly develop into who you want to be, and it's a grind.
And check out his social media profile.
Definitely.
It speaks to what he's all about, what his message is. So it's a great journey, great story. So,
Absolutely. Thanks,
and we talked about last time also that not just in learning what we do in medicine, but also just in life in general, motivation, inspiration, whatnot, in terms of reading, right?
Oh, for
Because,
sure.
knowledge, learning has got to be a lifelong process.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't end. We talked about, books that you like to read.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think some great books off the top of my head. I think it's
We talked about Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone.
10X.
That one's great. 12 Rules for Life is actually a great book that I've read. Actually read twice now.
Yeah.
It's written by Jordan Peterson. Great book. It just speaks about how to just be your authentic self, and how to just find who you really are. Because like you said, there's so much background noise. And I think people a lot of times really want to put on like a front or like a facade, especially when it comes to social media and trying to, when you pretend like you're somebody you're not on social media, and then you go like to your your real life and that's not who you are. That affects you in some way.
Absolutely.
Because
there's a conflict.
Exactly. That affects you.
There's because you find that no matter what, at some point in life, they're living a life of hypocrisy, Absolutely, it comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, no doubt, great point. So I'm sure throughout your readings you've seen some common themes in terms of what the formula to success is. You know?
Yes.
And we've talked about it before in your podcast.
We did.
You know, anything come to mind for that?
Formula for success, I think definitely being authentic and being honest with yourself, that is key.
Okay.
I think a lot of people lie to themselves about their like successes and where they're at. I think you see a lot of people on Instagram, they'll put in like entrepreneur on their bio or whatever, and it's like, what have you done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what have you done? You're an entrepreneur, but entrepreneur, like, what are your successes? So they lie to themselves and they get comfortable and they don't keep that grind,
Yeah.
So you should be constantly evolving, you should be constantly learning, you should be constantly trying to improve yourself.
Yes. So we talked about some principles, like number one, come from a sense of gratitude.
Yes.
Because what I like to do, I like to start my day from gratitude. I like to start meditate, prayer, and then from there, you kind of always kind of goal setting. They say 5% of people, only 5% of people write down their goals. I'm sure you've written down your goals.
Absolutely.
That's something that you should, and not just yearly goals, daily goals, but we're talking about 5-year goals, 10-year goals, very important. Don't complain. We talked about that
Complaining
too.
is,
Don't make excuses, because ultimately you got to see what your part in it is. What are you responsible for? Because that's what you can control. So, you just got to take action. You just got to take action.
Absolutely.
You can read all this you want, you can manifest all you want, but if you're not taking action, you can forget about it.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. No, they say that nobody's going to care about your first, YouTube video, first podcast, whatever it is, but you keep at it and you don't let those failures, get to you.
For sure.
You just keep pushing through.
For sure. Yeah. So what do you got planned for the rest of the day?
We
might hit up the gym later.
We might hit up the gym, but kind of just, taking it easy today.
Yeah.
Just kind of taking a break.
So what are you concerned about for your first year master's program?
I'm concerned.
What are you
that
excited about?
I'm definitely excited because it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of, especially pre-med students, aren't aware of all these different routes to go into med school that are available. People are really dead set on the fact that, okay, it's good at it, great, of course, that helps. But, you don't need to have a perfect GPA, a perfect MCAT score, 5,000 hours of volunteering, there's different routes, different avenues.
Yeah.
So I think taking the time and spending the time to educate yourself, to do your own research is, vastly beneficial.
Which has kind of brought something to mind. Malcolm Gladwell, one of my favorite authors in Outliers, he said, and this is something that stuck with me, is that you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just got to be smart enough. And what he mentioned is like you got to have an IQ of 120. All the rest is just hard work, dedication, and passion, and that'll get you there. So like you were saying, you don't have to have a 4.0 GPA to get into medical school. You don't have to have all those extracurriculars. You don't have to be the smartest person, but you just keep going for it. You don't give up. You'll get there because you're gonna in life you're gonna achieve a lot of failures. That's gonna happen. It's happened to me quite a bit. But true failure is when you quit.
Absolutely.
So that's the definition of true failure.
Definitely. Perseverance is key.
Yeah.
I tell you, perseverance is key, man.
So that's gonna be a little kind of, I don't know about intimidating, but going to a new city,
It is intimidating in terms of like the program and academics, and there's gonna be a lot of other smart people,
Oh yeah.
So not so much like competition, but just sort of ensuring that I keep up with everything, which
You gotta level up.
Exactly. You always gotta level up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's daunting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's exciting. I think I'm more so excited.
Because you're gonna grow.
Exactly.
And growth is happiness.
Absolutely.
I think growth for me is happiness. And there's a lot of parallels I think in athletics. Between athletics and just life in general. Because athletics comes down to discipline. Just put in the hours. And also, it's like when you go from high school to college, right? You gotta level up. Because it's a whole different playing field. The talent out there has really risen. So you gotta speak to it. So like when athletes go from high school, they were all Americans, they were the best in their high school, best in the league. But when they get to college, everybody was the best in the league. Right. So they either stay stagnant or they continue to just work hard to be the best that they can be.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. Excited.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
So you searched me out, and you also came shadow us.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did.
You came and saw us in the OR, and then you came and saw us and followed us in clinic. So,
did, yeah.
what were things that kind of jumped out at you? You know, what were things that kind of, one, you were like really excited about?
Yeah.
Two, maybe you had questions about?
Sure.
Three, what you learned. So,
I think.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, it's good. In surgery,
Yeah.
definitely seeing the passion
Uh-huh.
while you're like performing the operations definitely resonates with me because I can see how like dedicated you are, how focused you are. You block out all the outside noise and you just zone into what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I really.
Well, thank you.
I know. I just love it. Like, you know, it gets me like fired up. You know, I'm standing there, I'm watching you. You know, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I can see how zoned in he is. You know, and there's so many steps to every single procedure, and just being able to just sort of to work through it seamlessly the way you do, it just gets me pumped up.
Yeah, but you know, no, I so appreciate that. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you know, it wasn't always that way. You know, I had to start from ground zero. You know, and there's a lot of pitfalls along the way, a lot of nervousness along the way. But you know, it's just consistency. You know, it's just keep going and repetition and experience. You know, and I'm 9 years deep. So compared to what was 9 years, at 9 years compared to 1 year, completely different. So you saw kind of more of a polished product, you know. But again, I really appreciate those kind words.
Absolutely. And I think in clinic, seeing the interactions, being able to speak with the patients and see how they're doing now, just like see their faces light up. Like how excited and how thankful they are and how grateful they are for the work that you've done. That's what also gets me like really excited and hopeful to get into orthopedics in the future.
There you go.
We'll
make it happen.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, I mean, I think it's just as Chris was talking about, what we do, it's helping people, and that's, selflessness is the gateway to true happiness. Those are the keys to the kingdom of happiness, so, and the key's right there for the taking, but it's hard, as we're growing up, as we're young, there's a lot of selfishness involved, and I think that's just a natural progression. But as you just kind of keep trying to level up, keep trying to learn, keep trying to increase your knowledge base, you find that selflessness is where it's at. So, no, that's awesome. So, there's a lot of people that have reached out to me through Instagram and come and shadow us. So I really welcome that opportunity. It's really, really fulfilling to me. That's not something I do for personal gain. That's something I do for people like you. So please reach out. Not a problem. You're not bothering me. I'm busy, but I also want to be busy doing this stuff. So there you go. So who do you consider? We can play political here. But who comes to mind in terms of influencers that you see on social media?
Man, there's a lot. I'd say my number one motivator and go-to, kind of cliche these days, everybody loves him, is Gary Vee. Gary Vee just always gets me pumped up no matter what. Every single day he's busting out content that just absolutely is it's inspiring. It really gets you pumped up and motivated. But that stuff's never enough. It gets the fire going, but you have to put in the effort. You have to really grind. So, but in terms of influencers and stuff, I kind of just do my own thing.
Kind of
do my own thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. First episode of film, a Fab Movement podcast.
Reach out to us, reach out to me, reach out to Chris here. We're here to help. We're here to build you up because rising tide lifts all boats. So, later.
That's a wrap.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yo.